When Donald Trump isn't out there violating the U.S. Constitution, sending U.S. troops to go spy on and essentially attack and disappear American citizens, he's also out there trying to enrich himself through the office of the presidency. And another story emerged this week showing exactly how that happens. Apparently, back in 2018, Donald Trump asked then Ambassador to Britain Woody Johnson to do what he could to get the ball rolling, if you will, to move the British Open golf tournament to Donald Trump's golf course in Scotland, Turnberry, the one that he purchased in, I think, 2014. That is what he had an official U.S. ambassador working on in his official capacity as an ambassador, being paid by tax dollars to work out a business deal for the President of the United States. According to the report, Trump in 2018 reportedly asked the U.S. Ambassador to Britain, Woody Johnson, to see if the British government could help steer the televised event to the money-losing course bought by the Trump Organization in 2014. Johnson reportedly ignored ethics concerns raised by his then deputy, Louis Lukens, and floated the idea with the Secretary of State for Scotland, David Mundell, per the New York Times. Lukens later reportedly flagged the request with State Department officials. He was later forced out of his role at the U.S. Embassy in London after telling a positive anecdote about former President Barack Obama during a speech. So, Lukens, his superior at the State Department, says, yeah, dude, that's like pretty unethical for you to go and speak to Scotland about it. And Woody Johnson says, I'm going to do it anyway. And then Lukens, during a speech, apparently says, hey, Obama, not such a bad guy. So they fire him, but they keep the guy who violated ethics rules to try to get that golf tournament to Donald Trump's money pit of a golf course over at Turnberry. In fact, the only thing that turned Turnberry around was the fact that the U.S. military's been forced to redirect their flights so that, we got to stop in Scotland. We got to stay at a hotel. I guess it has to be Turnberry, even though that's so much further away than the other hotels. That's a report that came out earlier this year. We discussed it. Most members of the media discussed it because it's disgusting. But that is what the president is doing. And here's the kicker, folks. Literally nothing we can do about it other than vote him out. Because, and I didn't know this till right now, but apparently the President of the United States is immune from conflict of interest laws. It's fascinating, isn't it, right? Most powerful politician on the planet, arguably. Definitely most powerful person in the United States. And for some reason, that particular law doesn't apply to them. Now, it applies to everybody else, even the underlings, people who don't have nearly as much power, so they can't abuse as much power as the president. But the president, this is insane. Our country was founded by morons. Like, morons wrote these laws. I'm sorry, I know we're not supposed to ever talk bad about the founding fathers, but these people sucked. Go back and actually look at how they lived their lives and who they were and what they did. These are pretty crappy people. Yeah, they created a country. Fantastic. I like this country. It has a lot of work to do before it's decent. And a lot of that has to do with the way these idiots back then wrote these laws. And the way laws have been written ever since, basically. We're not that great. We could be, but we're not. And as long as we allow the president to act like he doesn't have to ever face any consequences, and as long as we write laws to say that, by the way, Mr. President, these apply to everybody but you. No, this can never be a real, honest-to-goodness republic. It can't be an honest-to-goodness democracy. It can't be a democratic republic. It could only be a little bitty form of a dictatorship. The president can never be above the law. What applies to me has to apply to him as well. And if it doesn't, there's always going to be an imbalance of power. And that is always going to lead to corruption.